Hello YouTube, welcome to another video. This one is really quick and short. So some of the basic things that you need to work on your bike. You don't have to have really fancy tools. One is a circuit tester. This is pretty helpful whenever you're trying to chase down what live wires you do have on the motorcycle. Another one is a multimeter. This one is invaluable because this one you can use for your house, car, motorcycle, everything. This was about 50 bucks. I bought it at Fry's before they went before they went into bankruptcy. Another tool that I have here is that if you don't have a torque wrench, you can get a pretty much a digital torque wrench. And this one I picked up at Harbor Freight. It was about $35. So this pretty much turns any ratchet, any wrench that you have into a torque wrench. It does foot pounds, it does inch pounds, it does Newton meters. It has a lot of settings for it. So if you don't have a really good torque wrench, this is very helpful. I also have a bunch of torque wrenches, the old style torque wrenches, but when I put them up against this, they're not very precise. They're always off by five, anywhere from 5 to 8 pounds. So I typically, double check all the work that I do on the motorcycle because I do have that beast. And then I have my Sportster, which I did a prior video on the primary oil drain plug that has stripped on me. And that's on my very first episode, the first video that I did on YouTube. Again, most of these tools are very helpful. They're easy to use. You can get them from Amazon. They're not very expensive. I'll try to put some links down on Amazon so you guys can see where I bought some of this stuff. I'm not affiliated with anyone. I'm not sponsored by anyone. These are just some of the products that I purchased, and they've helped me out a lot. Another one that I use is a Blue Driver engine analyzer and scan tool. So this one you can utilize. I know a lot of people buy the Chigi or the what do we call that other brand of Apple CarPlay devices that you can put on the motorcycle. And I'll show you another video on what I did. Basically, I resurrected some old devices like this old phone right here that you see. And again, this is just a phone that I replaced with my current iPhone that I'm recording everything with. And I'll show you some of the applications that I use when I get on the road, such as maps. You do not need cellular service for some of these maps. I'll show you the application that I'm using, and I'll show you how helpful it's been for me whenever I got in the boonies or I'm out of cell service and what have you. Another thing that I do use on the Sportster on this guy is because he's not as fancy as a Pan America. The Pan America's got TPMS monitors and all of that, so it tells me my tire pressure. Again, when you go out for a ride, your quick checks, you check your tire pressure, make sure your chain is lubed, make sure the brake fluid is fresh, all the lights are working and everything. And once that's all set and go, then you're good to go. But that one's easy to just look at the display and it'll show you what the tire pressure is on the bike at all times. But this one is very painful to do the tire pressure checking. So with I bought this. It's called the Fobo 2 bike for motorcycles. It's a TPMS monitor. It works really well. The batteries last about 2.5, almost 3 years. And I'll show you what that looks like. This is what the application looks like when you fire it up on your phone. And again, I'll do another video on how I utilize and not refurbish, but kind of set the phone for it to serve a new purpose for me and not just throw it in the trash. These devices are extremely helpful like you wouldn't believe. I use them for a lot of things. For the Blue Driver to do engine scanning on my cars, the Jeep, the Vet, and my 4Runner. So this is very, very helpful. These phones are invaluable, guys. Don't throw them away. They you spend a couple of bucks and you buy a couple of apps and they can be utilized on your bike. One thing that you want to do is you want to have a quad lock. So the quad locks are very helpful. I have a quad lock here on the Sportster and also have a quad lock on the Pan America. Now, mind you, make sure that you get the vibration free device on it. I had a Road King before, which I traded for my Pan America, and the Road King vibrated so much that basically it broke the camera on my phone. So these are some of the things that I utilize. Again, tools that you use, basic work on your bike. Get some of these guys, and then you criticize me for my organized mess, but then you need, of course, an assortment of tools that I've gathered throughout time. And pliers, what have you, and wrenches, and just basic stuff. You don't need to have, fancy scan tools or anything to work on your motorcycle. Everything is just basic tools that that I accumulated over time, that, work on my cars and all of that. But just basic tools will help you do the job. Again, you don't need to get really fancy. I'll do all the work on both of these guys. I'll make some more videos, and once again, I'll show you the one for the phone where you can, buy a couple of apps off the play of the Google Store or the App Store, and they're very, very helpful. Thank you for watching. Looking forward to the next one.